Let's talk about emotional redecorators. Emotional redecorators. Let's talk about that, guys. So imagine a man and a woman. They're talking on the phone and they're discussing some things about his home. They're talking about the layout. So his home, okay? They're talking about the layout. They're talking about how things are. They're talking about things that can be changed. They discuss these things. They meet up and they go to a home improvement store. Together they pick out all the things that should be changed, the paint, things that they want to add, the finishing touches to the place. They enter this place together and they redecorate everything. They high five, they enjoy the time it took to redecorate and to put things together. They carry things out together, threw it out. They upholstered things. They repainted the walls. They added all these nice finishing touches, and they both agree. This looks really good. As they sit in there talking and they're enjoying the new decor, about an hour later, in walks his wife. She comes in and she sees that things have changed. And her husband and his best friend are sitting there and enjoying the new look. She does not agree. She does not like it. But the thing is, she has no say. We've already talked about this. What's your problem? Why are you always like this? Don't you like it? She asks her husband, can I speak to you in the next room? He may say to her, no, whatever you have to say, you can say here. Or they may go into the next room and there's this huge argument about it. And the whole time he's talking her down that she does not appreciate all the time and effort that him and his friend took to make this place as beautiful as it is. As they're talking, his female friend knocks on the door. She enters in, and only by her being able to talk to him and calm him down was he willing to make some of the changes that his wife wanted. But it wasn't because his wife made the change, but she, the friend, had the ability to talk to him and to turn his heart. As his wife stands helplessly and watches. This is an example of the emotional redecorators. We can say the same thing about a woman. She's on the phone discussing things that she wants changed in her home. She wants her kitchen redone. She's talking to her male friend. They discuss it. They talk about it. He has some great ideas. They both agree. She meets him. He goes, he picks out the things that would look good in the kitchen. He's looking at, ways that they can redo the cabinets, get some new appliances in. They discuss it and they think it's a great idea. They discuss it. They pick out some things. It's delivered. He goes about his day, goes on his way. She keeps him up to date on the delivery, tells him how the delivery goes, how everything went. But she does let him know that her husband, he came home and he saw this and he didn't like any of it. And they discuss how outdated he is and he doesn't seem to understand what today's updated kitchen looks like. He was upset because they threw out, they changed the surfaces of the counters, and he liked the tile counters, but now they went on with a marble countertop. What's his problem? This is the discussion. There's a discussion in the background. Her husband is still upset. She leaves, goes to the car to finish the conversation with her male best friend because he is basically arguing so much. It's distracting her and it's upsetting her. She sits in the car. She talks a little more with her male best friend. They're discussing his lack of his inability to understand how to decorate and how nice it really was and what a nuisance he is being. He's also upset about the money that was spent. She is complaining to him about how frustrated she is with his ways of thinking. Her husband comes out to the car. He continues to talk to her. She keeps him on hold. She says to her friend, hold on, listen to this. As he's ranting and raving and he's upset, she is belittling him. She's talking down to him. She is listening to her male friend snickering in the phone, giving her things to say or things to say to him, which she immediately repeats to her husband. You see, because a man knows how to say and what to say and what not to say with another man. Or her friend coaches her in learning how to ignore her husband. And so finally, the husband walks back in the house frustrated. As she's on the phone talking to her friend of the opposite sex, he puts it in her head to say, let's meet for drinks. Let's talk this over. They meet for drinks. They talk it over. And so they both agree that maybe they can make one change. Only once he has given her the okay to concede does she and is she willing to meet her husband halfway. But then again, he may say to her, you don't have to change that. He's being crazy. He's being silly. He'll get over it. Cheers. They clink their glasses, take their drinks. This is an emotional redecorator. I gave you examples and I hope that this makes sense. Giving you a bigger picture of what's going on. When you allow the people to have all types of say, to have a lot of input in your relationship without your spouse or your significant other present, it is very damaging. There should be no one that has the heart of your husband or your wife or your partner in such a way that they can turn their hearts to you or from you. It's time to police up these illegal relationships, especially when you say that you are a child of God. You have these emotional redecorators that can come on into your life and into your relationships and move things around. In this analogy that I gave you today, we're talking about furnishings. But I hope that you can understand that we're talking about people that have a lot of say in your personal business, in the intimate things that should be shared between husband and wife, things that should be discussed between husband and wife, the authority that has shifted to your friends. When this is happening, I'm here to announce to you that this person is not just your friend. When you place them above your husband or your wife or someone that is significant in your life, the dynamics has changed. Be very careful. I don't know if you realize it, but these are sins. How are they sins? How am I sinning? Well, as a Christian, I'm talking to you. You know that there's certain things that will upset your husband or your wife and you keep it from them. You do things behind their backs. Those are the characteristics of a dishonest person, covert person. You're basically a liar. You're a liar, you're a nonverbal liar, okay? So that means you're doing things behind your husband and wife's back or with them knowing, once you've got bold, you know it bothers them and you don't care. There are other things that you do that they're not aware of. You exposing your husband and your wife to someone else and discussing them. You are disobeying the word of God that tells you to honor your husband to cherish your wife. Okay? It is one of the works of the flesh, that covert type of thing. It is you're being covert, you're being deceptive. In other ways, you're being very unkind and wicked. Okay? It is wicked when you know that something hurts your spouse and you continue to do it. The Word of God talks about, especially when you know that you're attracted to your friend and all these different things and you're having inappropriate conversations. Guys, there's certain lines that you should not be crossing. You're crossing certain lines. And that it's a passive aggressive spirit as well. That is a spirit, guys. And that spirit all falls under deception, okay, manipulation. It's the reverse psychology. All of that falls under the lying spirit. You're just operating in a different way. Treat people the way you want to be treated. And when that person tells you, this hurts me, and you ignore it and keep doing it, this is not the way of God. Especially when you are married. So guys, I just want to touch on that. It's time to clean house, guys. It's time to clean house. It's time to get rid of those little security blankets that you have in friendships. You cannot be a best friend. The reason why you're not a best friend with your husband or your wife, because the best friend slot has been filled. And in order for you two to become best friends and close friends, in order for you in your relationship with someone that you are planning to marry to become close, you've got to renounce, okay, that other best friend that you had going on and that you have. And it doesn't mean you get rid of them per se. Sometimes you have to get rid of them when things have just gone too far. But you and your wife, you and your husband are deserving of developing that sort of bond and friendship and memories in order, and learning one another in order to be close and to become best friends. You can't do that when someone else is supposedly your best friend. So they are taking your time. You're giving them all this attention. You're giving them all this authority in your life. You're giving them all this leeway in your life. I will give you an example. A woman is dating a man, and when she gets on the phone to talk to someone that is his best friend, the first thing that the best friend says to her is, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. And I told my husband the same thing, that he's not going anywhere. Now she is referring to the young woman's current boyfriend. She tells her as soon as she gets on the phone, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just letting you know I'm not going anywhere. And I already told my husband that she's talking about the young lady's boyfriend, I already told him he's not going anywhere. So he needs to get used to that. Now, I personally, if I was her husband, I wouldn't have married her. Okay? Because I think that's something weird and strange that someone would have to take that position to say, I'm not going anywhere. So obviously there's a history, right? So that should be a red flag for anybody. I would think that no one should have to sit there and try to understand, well, what does that mean? That's like, you know what? It's time to go. Be very careful. Clean up your act. Clean up those messes. Get things in order. Because the enemy, you may look at this and think, oh, it's nothing. But this is an area of compromise, because that's what it is. You're compromising something. And God expects us as believers, as children of God, to carry ourselves uprightly and to walk uprightly before him, even in these areas. You think that you won't stand before God and hear, depart from me, because of how you handled your wife or how you handled your husband. You think you won't stand before God and hear, depart from me, because of the conversations you continue to have with someone's spouse, someone's significant other, not knowing how much you may be hurting that man, that woman, how maybe you're the reason why they got divorced. Maybe you're the reason why they broke up. Maybe you're the reason why another person is in a place of depression. Maybe you're the reason why they're arguing so much and it's causing problems in their home, that's causing their kid to get to a place that their child is going in a different direction and is getting rebellious because of you. You don't think you'll stand before God for that, but you will. And you can. Why? Because you don't know the spider web effects of the emotional stress that is putting on the other person. You don't know what's going on behind closed doors in that home on account of you. And you don't know how it may be affecting their children and their marriage because of you. And it opens up the door to the powers of darkness. You're not thinking about it. That wife or the husband is getting depressed. She gets mad. She thinks this way. She feels like she needs another man. He feels like he needs to go somewhere. The child is in there hearing them arguing about you again. My brothers and sisters, be very careful. You may think that this is far-fetched, but it's not, because there's a lot of people that's broken up. A lot of friends where the man or woman has left their significant, their husband and wife, or their friends, or the husband and wife just gave up because they realized that this is not a winning battle, it's a losing battle. And so there's something that's going on in them spiritually that God sees. They feel hurt, they feel rejected, and God is displeased and looking at some of you. Because some of you have your happy home. You have your husband or your wife on lock, or you're living your life how you want to live it, but you're still in someone else's marriage causing hardship and problems. You are the emotional redecorator in their lives. Don't think that you won't stand before God and hear, "Depart from me." Yes, you will. Why? Because that is God's child. And if you hurt God's child, there's going to be a problem. You're going to answer for it. Why can I say that you're gonna give an answer for it? Because the Word of God says that when we stand before the judgment seat of God, we will give an account for every word we've ever spoken and everything we've ever done. That means the things that you do right now with this man or with this woman, and they are in a relationship with someone else, it's being recorded in the books. I want to say it's Deuteronomy 30. I always mix it up. But it says, "I call heaven and earth as a witness against you this day, to choose life or death, blessings or cursing." So what it tells me is that the heaven and the earth is a witness against all that you do. The angels of God see all that you do. How you and this man or you and this woman treat and deal with their spouse or someone that's in their life, how you're hurting them, how you guys are ignoring, how you're indifferent, how you snicker, you laugh, you talk about them, you discuss them. And the thing about it is, there's so much discussion that's done. You know so much about her, but she knows nothing about you, because he does not go to her that way. He does not go and talk about you and discuss you with her, because he's loyal to you. She will not go. You will know everything about her husband, but her husband knows nothing about you. She does not go and talk to her husband about anything regarding you, anything about your problems, because her loyalty is with you. These things, my brothers and sisters, you will be held accountable for. Those deeds, those actions. You'll stand before God and answer why you did these things. And you're going to go, "Oh, I was just being a friend." But then God is going to show you how much you were hurting this other person. God is going to show you how you just bought into the lies that this man or this woman was telling you, because you just listened to their story while their spouse is hurting and broken, and there was separation and division in their home because you thought you was just being a friend. Be careful, guys. Discretion is key. Stop being emotional redecorators. Keep your feet out of people's house. Keep your mouth out of people's marriages and businesses and relationship, because you are not there. And as long as you're only getting one side, it's most likely their side that you're hearing. And their side is not necessarily the truth or the whole truth. All right, guys, let's grow together. Bye.